Some people think the Catholic Church is the harlot of Babylon that is spoken of in Revelation 17. These people point to two verses to prove that the woman, the harlot, is the Roman Catholic Church. Those verses are Revelation 17:9, this which says, "This calls for a mind of wisdom. The seven heads are seven hills on which the woman is seated." And Revelation 17:18 says, "And the woman that you saw is the great city which has dominion over the kings of the earth." See, they say, the seven hills means Rome, which is the city that sits on seven hills. The Catholic Church is headquartered in Rome, and Rome was a great city that had dominion over the kings of the earth. Therefore, the harlot of Babylon is a worldwide religion that is based in Rome. The problem with these two assumptions is that Vatican City is on one hill that is not part of the seven hills, which is on the other side of the Tiber River, and the Catholic Church doesn't have dominion over the kings of the earth. There are two things in this to look at in these verses in Revelation 17. There is a harlot and a beast that she is sitting on. Revelation 17:3 says, "And I saw a woman sitting on the scarlet beast, which was full of blasphemous names, and it had 7 heads and 10 horns." And Revelation 17:9 that says, "This calls for mind of wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman is seated." What we have here is 7 hills pertaining to the beast on which the woman is seated, not the woman herself. The beast is the symbolic of Rome, the Roman Empire. The harlot is clearly identified as a city, not a church. This city is Jerusalem. The harlot of Babylon is referred to as a great city in Revelation 17:18 and a few verses in chapter 18. Knowing that, if you look at Revelation 11:9, which says, "And their dead bodies will lie in the streets of the great city," which is allegorically called Sodom and Egypt, where their Lord was crucified. The great city is where the Lord was crucified. Their Lord was crucified in Jerusalem. The nation of Israel was often referred in the Old Testament as a harlot because Israel quite often would forsake worship of the one true God and would worship false gods instead. Quite often the relationship between God and Israel described in marital terms. Therefore, when Israel would forsake her true spouse, she would be described as a harlot. As Hosea 9:1 says, "Rejoice not, O Israel, exult not like the peoples, for you have played the harlot, forsaking your God. You have loved a harlot's hire upon all threshing floors." Revelation 17:16 says, "And the 10 horns that you saw, they and the beast will hate the harlot. They will make her desolate and naked, and devour her flesh and burn her up with fire." If the beast is Rome, or the Roman Empire, and the harlot is Jerusalem, then we can see a clear connection when Jerusalem was sacked and burned in 70 AD by the Roman general Titus, thus leaving the city naked and burned up with fire, just like the Bible says. Revelation 17:6 says, "And I saw a woman drunk with the blood of the saints and the blood of the martyrs of Jesus." Jesus further affirms that Jerusalem is a harlot by what he says to the scribes and Pharisees in Matthew 23, verses 33 through 38. "You serpents, you brood of vipers, how are you to escape being sentenced to hell? Therefore I send the prophets and wise men and scribes, some of whom you kill and crucify, some you will scourge in your synagogues and persecute from town to town, that upon you may come all righteous blood shed on earth, from the blood of innocent Abel to the blood of Zechariah. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, killing the prophets and stoning those who are sent to you. Behold, your house is forsaken and desolate." Notice Jesus sends the saints to Jerusalem, and they will be killed and crucified and scourged and persecuted. So Jerusalem will be drunk with the blood of the martyrs and the saints of Jesus, just like the harlot of Babylon. Now if you compare Matthew 23:38 about Jerusalem being forsaken and desolate with Revelation 18:21 through 24, these verses describe a city that is pretty much forsaken and desolate. And if you look closely at Revelation 18:24, "And in her was found the blood of the prophets and the saints and all who have been slain on earth." Well, if the blood of all who have been slain on earth are found in the harlot of Babylon, and the blood of all the Old Testament prophets, wise men, and scribes, and the blood of those sent by Jesus who are yet to be crucified, killed, and scourged, and persecuted are upon Jerusalem, Matthew 23. Then it looks again like Jerusalem is the harlot of Babylon.